Okay. Thank you, sir. So I'll share my screen, and today we are starting with this webinar. Uh, which is basically, I think my screen is also visible. Abid, can you please confirm that?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, thank you so much. So today we are starting with this webinar, which we are focusing on BIM and plus cloud. So आज जो हम webinar ले रहे हैं, so welcome all first of all. आज जो हमारी audience है, most of the people are from government organizations. तो सबको मैं पहले स्वागत करता हूँ और उसके बाद then I'm starting this webinar which is based on BIM and cloud. तो BIM आप लोगों ने शायद पहले सुना होगा, उसको हम क्लाउड पे ले जाके कैसे डिजाइन को और कंस्ट्रक्शन को इजी कर सकते हैं, किस तरह से हम स्ट्रीमलाइन प्रोसेस बना सकते हैं जिसमें कम से कम इश्यूज हों और ज्यादातर हमारा जो आउटकम है वो ऑप्टिमाइज हो जाए. सो दैट इज द बेसिक आइडिया ऑफ इट. सो वी आर बेसिकली ब्रिजिंग द गैप बिटवीन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एंड बिल्डिंग. क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है कि इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टीम अलग काम कर रही होती है, बिल्डिंग पर जो काम करने वाले लोग होते हैं वो अलग होते हैं. तो हमारा आइडिया ये है कि इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और बिल्डिंग को किस तरह से एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे लाके सीमलेस वर्क फ्लो बनाया जाए. तो उसके लिए हम बिम टूल्स यूज करेंगे और क्लाउड पे कैसे कोलैबोरेट करना है वो देखेंगे आज. सो एजेंडा जो आज की वर्कशॉप का है वो कुछ इस तरह से है कि पहले वील स्टार्ट विद द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ द वेबिनार. इसके बाद हम कंपनी का इंट्रो देंगे. आई इनवाइट मिस्टर शितांशु जैन फॉर दैट. सो मैं अभी सर को बुलाऊंगा एंड ही विल गिव द कंपनी इंट्रो. हम उन लोगों की कंपनी के बारे में बताएंगे. उसके बाद विल डायरेक्टली मूव टू द डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन. तो उसके बाद हम डायरेक्टली आपको दिखाएंगे कि कौन कौन से सॉफ्टवेयर पे क्या क्या हम कर सकते हैं. उस तो थोड़ा सा मैं बिम के बारे में बताने के बाद आपको
Shoaib,
फॉर. यस
Shoaib,
सर.
sorry to interrupt you.
यस
Uh,
सर.
so we are getting some comments on let's keep the communication only in English.
अच्छा, let's keep the communication only in English.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, please. Yeah,
okay,
let's do
okay.
that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so basically this is the agenda for today's workshop. So today's webinar, I mean, so first we'll start with the webinar introduction, then we'll move to the company introduction, which will be given by Mr. Shitanshu Jain, and then we'll move to the demonstration of the softwares, and we'll discuss about the workflow. So we'll start from the conceptual building design, and then we'll detail that building, and then we take that building to the infrastructure part where later on we'll add up rails and roads, and then rails and roads and tunnels will be those are infrastructure parts will be done in InfraWorks and Civil 3D, and then entire workflow will be collaborated on Autodesk Construction Cloud. So that is the entire workflow, and then at the end of the webinar we'll take Q&A session, and then we'll close this webinar. So but before starting with the webinar formally, I would like to know my audience well. So for that, I am running a small poll. So I'm launching a poll on screen, and this first question is actually about your professional background. So please participate on this poll. I start filling this poll. I think poll is available to all. Abid, can you please confirm if poll is
Yes,
visible?
yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay, thank you. So I'm noticing that we have, so poll is, being filled now. So there are three questions in this poll. First question is about the professional background. So I'm getting that most of our audience are civil engineers and architects. So we have got around 40% of civil engineers, 37% of architects, 15% of mechanical engineers, and there are 12% of other professionals also. Okay, thank you so much. I'll launch another question. So this is about conceptual design. So I know today is, almost everybody uses software. It's a digital era. So what software do you prefer for conceptual design? So I have few options which are on screen. So let's wait for people to fill those questions. So I'm getting the results now. So most of the people are using AutoCAD. So we have, around 65% users of AutoCAD. Then 45% of people are actually also using Revit, which is quite good. Some of you also use around 29%. You also use SketchUp. 11% are also familiar about format. That is also good. 2% are also using InfraWorks. So I think it's a good learning for those who are new to InfraWorks and format kind of softwares. And thank you so much. Now I'll launch another question. So this was related to conceptual design. Another question is about detailed design. So once concept is completed, then we take up this design into, for design development, for detailing that design, for producing sheets, for producing multiple drawings for submission. So for that, what software do you use? So, so I'm getting the results already. People are filling the polls. So it's good to know that 50% of our population, our participants, I mean, are using AutoCAD, and actually last option is related to AutoCAD, and 59% are also using Revit actually. So around 48% are using AutoCAD. Now now the poll result is changing. Revit is being used by 61%, and Civil 3D is being used by 16% of people. So I think most of the people are from in today's participants are, I think, from building side. So I think this would be exciting for them to see how building can be integrated with the infrastructure part. Thank you so much for participating in the poll. Now I will invite Mr. Shitanshu Jain for giving the company introduction. Sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Shoaib. So first of all, I would like to thank everyone for giving us this opportunity to present how the technology is changing today, and especially in the construction industry, what are the relevant techniques and technologies available to be for design and construction of your projects. So we as Capricorn are now a part of WinZero company. So this is a global company with having presence across, apart from India, UK, US, and Australia. So we have more than 500 plus technical specialists, and more than 20 offices across the world. And the idea behind this, like presenting to you in India especially, is that how we can bring the best practices which are used in design and construction from across the world to Indian and to our customers like yourself. And our goal is, as a company, to bring in sustainable practices to enable your projects, your organization, and then of course our community and societies to be net zero. So this is through a culmination of processes, technologies, developing in-house technologies. So we are trying to bring about a change so that we can have a better future for our societies. Sure, next slide, please. So, and coming to more about as Capricorn, so we have a legacy of more than 30 years being present in India, and we are one of India's leading design and construction management technology solution provider for focusing primarily on the construction industry, and of course associated with it architecture and engineering, and then of course substantially linked to manufacturing, media, entertainment, which are associated with the AEC industry. So our goal is to how do we enable you to better deliver your projects through technology, implementation of technology, through trainings, etc. Shoaib, next slide, please. As an organization, so Capricorn, we are present across the country. So we have physical offices out of Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Jaipur, etc., and some localized satellite offices, having more than 40 BIM experts which are helping our customers deliver their projects and helping them be more tech savvy, be more better able to have better quality, deliver their projects on time within the cost parameters, and helping you in standardizing the processes in your organization. So we have solutions focused apart from AEC, even subdomains also, like structure, MEP, interiors, landscapes, water, wastewater, rail, metros, and you name any kind of project, and we would be able to help you in delivering part or the whole projects end to end. Show him next, please. So with this, so idea behind today's workshop is that to demonstrate, first of all, because we have people from multiple domains and multiple knowledge levels on this workshop or this webinar. So first, to bring everyone on board for the first level, what is BIM, and then how it can be leveraged for projects across the life cycle, for projects ranging from a building to an airport, for example, to a mass transit project, and how do we put all the data together on one single platform so that, especially in large infrastructure projects, the data can be leveraged for better outputs. So with this, I would like to hand it over back to Shoaib. Shoaib, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So yes, first I'll briefly talk about what is BIM. I think most of you are already aware about BIM. So I'll go through, like I'll keep it short. So if I go by the official definition, so BIM stands for Building Information Modeling. I think most of you already know. Building information modeling is a digital representation of physical and functional characteristics of a facility. It is not related to a single building. So here the term building is actually not used as a noun, but it is used as a verb. So we are, for example, if I, use some other synonym for building, then it might be creating, for example. So creating information model. So we are basically creating or building up an information model for for better coordination and collaboration, which we'll discuss further. So the idea is, what is BIM? That is the first part of the definition. The first part of the definition actually states that we need to create a functional and physical characteristics of a model digitally. So we are actually creating building digitally. So like my senior used to say, used to talk to me, and he used to share this, that architect, I'm an architect actually. So architects used to create building twice, first in their mind and then on paper. But for BIM users, they actually create buildings thrice. So first they think about the process in their mind. The building is created in mind. Then second, it is created virtually on BIM platform. And then third, it is actually built on site. So this is first part of the BIM, that we are creating a digital asset, which will contain obviously geometry, components, spaces, materials, occupancy. These are the inputs which will give an output. It will give us multiple types of analysis, maybe energy analysis, structural analysis, different kinds of analysis. It will give us simulation, maybe area-based simulation, space-based simulation, HVAC simulation, or maybe 4D simulation, time-based simulation, and then many things will be taken out as an outcome and can be used for operation and maintenance of the building for a longer period of time. This is the second part of building. Like I mentioned, operation and maintenance. BIM actually starts from the concept design stage, or maybe earlier, from the inception of the building, inception of the idea, to the maybe demolition or renovation of the project. So there are many people who might not be using BIM from the inception of the building, or inception of the idea of building, or the conceptual design. Sometimes they actually adopt BIM at a later stage, which sometimes also not very recommended process. So from the starting of the project to the completion of the project, that is the operation maintenance stage, that building is now completed, and for operating it and for maintaining it for let's say next 50 years or 80 years, this same model, that digital asset which is created, can be used for maintenance also. So the end goal of the BIM is actually to create an asset which can be used not only for construction but also post construction as well. And after, for example, if a building needs to be demolished, you can also use the same model. And if it is renovated, then you can also use it for renovation and all. So it can be used for the entire life cycle. What is the key concept of BIM? How does BIM work? So what it gives basically us? So it gives us a single coordinated model. So this is one of the snapshots from our one of our projects which we are going to show you. So this is a tunnel project where we also place services and multiple stakeholders have collaborated already. So this is kind of that workflow we try to create. So it's a single coordinated model where multiple stakeholders have already given their input. So now the question arises, who can work on it? So designers team, engineers team, contractors team, all together can work simultaneously at the same time and can keep on adding inputs to the single coordinated model. Since it's a single coordinated model, so how does it work? So basically, since it's a single coordinated model, it's a single source of database. So that model, which is a coordinated model, is also a database which can be used for further analysis or simulation or maybe for maintenance purpose, right? So since everybody has the same, which we call as single source of truth. So everybody has like my truth, and like I'm a designer, my truth, and for example, contractor's truth or any other stakeholder's truth, everybody's truth is same actually. So everybody is actually extracting data or maybe adding data to the same model. So they are actually collaborating at the same platform, which is mostly now done on cloud, because people might be on different locations, so it is done on cloud. Now another question arises, when can we work on BIM? So like I already mentioned earlier also, from the design, yeah, that is conceptual design stage, to the operation maintenance stage, BIM can be used. So that is the key concept of BIM. What type of project it can handle? So we are today mostly focusing on infrastructure projects. So these are different kind of projects which can be handled. So like road design, it can handle. So this is one snapshot from road design. So you can get quantities of the roads, you can get analysis of the road. Then you can also design railway tracks on it. You can also design building railway buildings, railway stations on it. You can work on railway utilities on it. You can work on services like pipes and other service like OHE services or electrical services for railway on it. And it can also handle site level services. So basically utilities and building. It can work like BIM can be used from a smaller building block to the entire cityscape. So now European countries are actually come up with this concept called CIM. So we are talking about BIM. They have come up out this concept of CIM, which is actually city information modeling. So they are kind of developing the entire city on BIM. So now Spanish countries are actually doing all the renovation work on BIM. So their old heritage structures are being rebuilt on BIM itself. So that is the whole idea of it. So now I'll talk about building projects first. So for building projects, we have actually taken up one small station project, which is only for demo purpose. So I'll show you that also. So for building projects, we are starting from building projects because I'm an architect, so I'm starting from the building perspective, and then I'll move this webinar towards infrastructure. So for building projects, we are using for conceptual design, we're using format. And what format can be used here? Format can be used for setting up the location. It can be used for capturing existing terrain. It can be used for developing conceptual form. But capturing of terrain, it can only capture up to 20 miles. Its extent is actually 20 miles. So Abid, can you please confirm if my voice is clear?
Yeah, now it's audible, sir.
It's audible now? Okay. Okay, thank you. So format is the software which is used for conceptual design. So some of you might be using SketchUp, like I have run the poll there. So some of you might be using SketchUp. So those who are using SketchUp and are familiar with SketchUp, they can easily grasp format. Format is a kind of similar to SketchUp, and the advantage of using format here is that it integrates well with Revit and other Autodesk products. Because later on, if you are also developing buildings in SketchUp and any other tool, there are many conceptual design tools, then you need to take it for detailed design. And for detailed design, if it's a building, it needs to be taken on, in this case, Revit. So this is the same building. So if some of your architects, and you have heard about this architect, Daniel Lebeskin. So this is actually Lebeskin's villa, which we developed on Format, and then we took up that same building to Revit. So it's a seamless integration, and then we created sheets out of it. We cut a section here, so it's just for representation purpose. So that is why I've not worked on detail much. And then we created a small scheduler. So it's a sheet output which is taken out from the Revit. So Revit is used for detail design, sheet creation, presentation drawing, working drawing, submission drawing, and these kind of drawings. And material based quantities can also be taken out from Revit. So I think I should now move on to live demo of these softwares. So I'll just share my other screen. Just please allow me a minute. And Abid, please confirm when my screen switches. So I
Yeah,
think,
it's visible.
okay, thank you. So this is the interface of Format. I've just opened it. So this is the fresh file. So as you can notice here, it has like generic options which we have in other softwares also, like file, edit, and others. On the right side, we have additional tools here which can be used for tracking your progress. How do you track your progress? You can track your progress in terms of area here. So you can also set up FAR. So if you have a targeted area and site area, so if it exceeds the site area, then it will accordingly show you in FAR here. So you can set up location. For setting up location, we can go for location option, which is here, or SL is the shortcut. So I'll not go into detail, but I'll just show you. So you can just search for the location. For example, here, I'll search for any location. Let's say I'm sitting at Delhi now. So I'll go for New Delhi, and it is already going for New Delhi. And suppose it has taken some central park area. I'll just go for, let's say, Green Park, where our office is located, near Haus Khas. Yes. And suppose, so you already know where your building location is, then you can set your this pointer according to wherever that site is located. This would be the origin point for your site, and your site will start developing. And then you can import terrain and imagery accordingly, right? So I'll set up this much of location. You can just zoom in and zoom out for setting it up, and I'll just import it in Format. Yes, I think this much of area is fine. So it will take a while to set up this location. And as you can notice, since it's a Delhi area, so we have lesser contours here. So if I go to the layers, it has the layer management also. It actually adds up the contour layer also. So if I had taken some hilly areas, the contours those terrain data can be kept. Layers are added. You can add more layers here and can start modeling. So now, as you can notice, location is set. Then you can also set up the site area. Let's say my site is 1500 square feet. I'm just taking a smaller site, or maybe let's go for 5000 square feet, let's say. And then I need to start. You can start by placing few solids, or maybe you can start by some. So I'm starting with simple lines, and since this project is being software is being set in feet and inches by default, and I prefer working in I can just hit tab key to give these dimensions in So it's a 1:1 scale thing. It doesn't distort according to scale. I need to go for 5 meters on this side. So I've just written down 5 m. I'll click OK. So it's that kind of dynamic input, right? Sorry, 5 meters very less here at this location. Let me start with rectangle. I was just showing. I'll switch off terrains. So this is that line which I created. I think I should start from the origin just to make the screen more visible. I'm starting from the origin, and you may change units also. That is not an issue. I'll change it to metric meters. And for example, now I need to give units in feet and inches. Then you can hit tab key and can change the units. Anyways, I'm going for 50 meters on this side. Let's say it's a huge. In SketchUp users also do it. Like you can 15 meters high this building is, for example. Suppose this portion of the building needs to be shifted back. Suppose there is, so you can just manipulate your form Just allow me a minute. I'll just try and reconnect. I think this time it would be better. I think voice will not break again. I hope. Anyways, so suppose I have added few lines here and I'll just remove this portion. So you can go for entire, deconstructivism mode. So architects actually use this term, deconstructivism mode. Now, for example, if I delete this and the entire surface has been deleted here, like by mistake. So I'm just keeping this mistake on screen so that I can show the solution also. So for that, you have this cover option available. So the thing is, you can do many things here. So I can just cover this. You can select these options and just finish this off. It is being covered, and then you can add levels to it. So for example, I need to add this to another layer. For example, I'll select all of this. I'll add to another layer. I'll call this layer as building, suppose, right? So, and now I'll add this to building layers. So now I can switch off building also, switch on terrain and satellite imagery as well, right? Then, for example, I need two levels because in Revit for design development, levels are required. So I'll just simply add levels here. For example, there are first level is added on 0 meter, or maybe if it's let's say plinth level, then you can go for 600 mm. So I'm just giving inputs in mm. It has converted to meters automatically. I can add one level at a time. Another level is at 3 meters, or maybe like multiple levels altogether. For example, 5 levels at let's say 3 meters each, or maybe 3.5 meters each, for example. Right, so multiple levels are added. Now our building should also detect those levels. I'll select the building portion and I'll go to the properties, and I can, no, I need to go to the levels, and I can, add these levels to the building. So use levels, and as you can notice, level wise areas are shown. So the idea is this much of volume this building is taking up, this much of area, that is the total gross area in square meters, and floor wise it is getting area. So my building form actually gradually decreasing upward. So as you may notice, the area is also reducing when we are going up in the building. Right, so on the 5th floor the area is less, and on the lower floor the area is more. So the idea is it also tracks out areas according to floor wise areas, and also FAR is being automatically calculated, right? So this much of site area I have set up, and this is the gross area which I've got. I think there is some issue here. So I have taken like larger building. Anyways, I'll just change. So this is only for demonstration purpose. I'm just adding. So this much of FAR is correct, right? Anyways, you can also add more things here. You can also add materials. So for materials, you have this option. You have predefined material library also. You can create your own materials. So all those things which you can do with any 3D software, you can do with this. Along with these materials will not be lost when you take it in the Revit. So actually off screen, I have developed another model already. So I'll just directly show that to save time. But I think you got the idea that it's a very easy software. And later on, you can also run energy analysis, solar analysis on it. I think that part I should show. So you can switch on shadows, sun editor, I'll switch on, I'll switch off, I'll just change its mode. So you can choose different modes here. So I'll just go for monochromatic mode. And here you can see the sun input is taken. Sun, so weather input will automatically update according to whatever location you set. So when I was in the location panel, you may notice here we also have the weather information which is added. So as you may notice, it is write down, zoom out to discover weather station in this area. So basically these small dots which are shown in blue color are weather stations. So weather data is automatically updated when we updated the location. Now, for example, if I need to run, let's say, solar analysis on it, we can also do that. Someone has written in chat box that this feature is also in Revit. Yes, this is also in Revit, but for preliminary purpose, we can also run preliminary solar analysis here. Another advantage of using format on early stages that this is available on iPads as well. So Revit is not available on iPad. This is actually also available on iPad. So like architect sketch, on sketchbooks, they maintain small sketchbooks. So those who have iPads can install this app called Format Pro. And Format is actually also web-based version is free. But if you are going for all the features, because this analysis feature is not on the Pro version, you can just buy Pro version of it. So iPad app has this stylus input as well. So stylus is pressure sensitive. So for example, if you press this harder, then it can allow you to push and pull your building. So something like that. So it takes up the stylus input as well. So the idea is those who have iPad can also use Format there, and then run a preliminary analysis, and can then push that model to the maybe modeler or other team members. Anyways, I'm running solar analysis here. You can set up the time. So it has automatically detected, I think, current date and time. No, it has detected something else. Actually, we need to set up the date. So maybe I'm going for 2021, let's say for now, July 2021, 21st, and around, let's say, you can slide it also for the time, I think, and it gives you the, input. Either you can slide it or you can use this sun input as well. So this, graphics is actually interactive. You can move it. So I'm just setting up sun around 2:30 p.m. and then I'll just go for solar analysis, and we'll wait for a while because it takes up the data online, and it gives you data back. So you can go for monthly peak or cumulative here. I'm just showing you cumulative here. If you're going for monthly, you can change the months from here, as you can notice. I'm just going for yearly analysis, and I'll select all the surfaces of this model. I mean, all the surfaces. You can go for surface wise also. Like at a time, you can select one surface. I'm selecting all the surfaces, and I'll just analyze it. And as you can notice, the surfaces which are selected are showing their results. In this case, kilowatt hour per square meter. But if you are using imperial units, then it will show in BTU units as well. And then you can place these images in your presentation and can push your idea well. I think it will give you ground to defend your design. Anyways, I'm just resetting it. So this is the whole idea of using Format. I'll show you that building which we have already created in Format. I'll just simply drag and open it. Yes. So this is that building. I think sun input I should switch off here. Yes. So this is that conceptual block which I have developed. Floor wise, I've also tracked its area, and now I need to take it in Revit. So you can save this thing, on cloud as well. That is Autodesk Construction Cloud. So it takes up the docs part here. So you can save it directly on cloud. So I've already synced in this in cloud. I'll show you that part later, and you can save it locally as well. So that is your choice. And then you can export it maybe in other formats as well. So for example, I'll show you it can be exported in XM, DXC, FBX, and other formats as well. Even a SketchUp format can be exported, and SketchUp can directly be opened here, right? So I'll just share my Revit screen, I think, at this point. So I've already taken this in Revit, and I'll just switch my Revit screen. So Abid, please confirm when my Revit screen will be visible. Yes, I think it is visible. Okay, thank you. So the idea is that same building I've placed here, and I copied it multiple times, and then I've added material to it. There are detailed materials to it. Details are added. Then I've created one working drawing here. I'll just show you that drawing. So floor-wise drawings can be created here, right? Those levels which I've created already there, actually I've created levels in Format itself. So for example, I'll switch my Format screen again. So in Format, if I go to the levels, I've created levels in the conceptual design stage as well. So these are all those levels which were required then. And then I took same level inputs in Format, in Revit, I mean. So in Revit, if I go to some of the elevation, you may notice that these levels are also present here, right? So there are few naming conventions which are changed, but same levels are being used. So this is that drawing which I produced here. This is the working drawing output. I was also working on it, so you may find some errors here, because obviously this is for demonstration purpose only. And then presentation drawing is also produced. And how do we produce presentation drawing? I may show one demo as well. For example, it is because it is very easy. You can do it in few seconds. So if I, for example, duplicate this thing and it has no colors in it. So for example, if you want to represent your rooms according to the colors, then you may simply go to Analyze tab, because it analyzes the spaces, and then you can go for coloring up your rooms, and I'll just simply click here and I can assign colors according to the rooms. Maybe if you have divided departments, you can go by department as well. I've not placed departments here. I've only specified room names. So I'll just click OK. And according to the input, whichever room has been taken, for example, this is the cafeteria area, this is the lobby area, the different rooms are being colored automatically. For example, if I'm not satisfied with some of the colors, suppose this cyber cafe type area is too dark, I can anytime go to the color scheme and can change it. Right? So it takes up the dynamic input. Anyways, I hope you got the idea here. How then I can take it to sheets also. So I've already created one sheet and can compose it with the title block. Right? Then similarly, I've created this working drawing and this presentation drawing also. So Revit is basically a multidisciplinary software where you can take up your buildings and you can give inputs according to your discipline. So as you can notice, it has tabs dedicated. So those who are new in Revit, I think I should explain for them. So architecture tab shows the architecture related options. Structure tab is structure related options, like maybe creating braces, trusses, and rebar and all. So you can also place 3D reinforcement in it. Then you have a dedicated tab for steel connections for steel designers. Then we have precast connect option, which is available after Revit 2020 version. So this is Revit 2022, which I'm showing. The precast is for precast detailing. Then we have systems panel, systems tab, which have HVAC panel. Then we have mechanical panel, plumbing and piping panel, electrical panel. So it's a multidisciplinary tool. And you can also insert multiple data types here. For example, if your other consultants are working on CAD drawings, then you can import those CAD inputs directly. If they are showing PDF to you, then you can import PDF directly. You can link images. You can link other Revit models also. For example, you are an architect, for example, like I'm an architect, and if you need to take input from a structure team, then you can link their structure model as well, and they will keep on working on their model simultaneously. So it has that linking with this coordination thing available. Then once every design is frozen, then you can start producing sheets. The next tab is about annotating everything. You can produce sheets. You can, like I have already produced few sheets here. You can get quantities out of it. So for quantities, you have the entire panel for creating quantities. So I have not created any quantities yet. Let me create quantities for, let's say, whatever columns are used. So for example, I can go for material based quantities maybe. So I'll just take up material takeoff here. So, and I'll go for, let's say, material takeoff for structure column. So I can get column quantities here, and I'll just click OK. So this is structural. So I can take up, name of the component. So that is, we call family in Revit. Components are known as families. And then you can take material based inputs. For example, what is the name of the material which is used here? What is the area of the material, volume of the material? And then you can also add cost and all. So anyways, I'm just adding few things here so that we can get it. So this is the entire schedule which is created, and you can anytime, get a total out of it and can use it in your sheets or maybe DPRs. So it can get you material based quantities and material based cost also. So this was all about Revit. Then this model, the same model, is being integrated on Autodesk Construction Cloud, that is ACC, and then it is now took up by my another team member, Mr. Abid, who is a civil engineer. He is expert in infrastructure projects. So he has taken this station building and developed, rail around it. He has developed roads around it. So I'll just request Mr. Abid to, take
Yeah,
the session over. Yeah.
thank you, Shiv. I'll just share my screen. Please confirm it's visible or not.
Yes, Abid, it's visible.
Okay. So, like before starting off infrastructure project, I just want to highlight a point. Like almost in all infrastructure project, we are government organization or maybe for large infrastructure project has been mandated to submit a BIM model, then only we'll get an approval, right? So even though when we are working in large infrastructure project, we are dealing with a large amount, right? So in that particular case, we need to do a preliminary level DPR. So for that part, we need to do a preliminary survey, then we will go for the infrastructure modeling part, right? So I'll just switch to the next slide. Okay, so like as I mentioned, preliminary survey itself a biggest task in government organizations or maybe in other organization, right? Because first, as a person, we need to visit the site, then we need to capture the contour data, or we need to identify major important structure, then we'll start working on it, right? So when we are working in infrastructure project, first idea over here is we need to capture the existing site conditions to work on 3D model in real world context. For that part, InfraWorks will help you to capture a 3D terrain data in real world coordinates with the help of USGS satellite surface. So, as you can see in this particular image, I have captured one of the project data. I'll moreover show you on a live demonstration as well. So later, whatever though we have captured the model, that model we bring into Civil 3D for the detailed terrain analysis, terrain model, and the contour map generation. Apart from that, when you are in an idea generation stage, we need to capture the both the condition, like existing conditions of the road and rail layouts, and we need to propose different types of road rail layouts for that particular project, right? So Civil 3D is a software where we can bring our concept generation idea to the detailed design software for the documentation and the quantity takeoff part. Not only for quantity takeoff, but to make more detailed design changes of that particular project, we can bring the data directly from InfraWorks to Civil 3D without any further data loss. Right now, I'll shift to my another screen for InfraWorks demonstration. Like, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Abid, it's visible.
Yeah. So this is the typical interface of InfraWorks. On left hand side, we have an option called model builder, right? Everyone in day-to-day life, we are most probably using our Google Map or Google Earth for the daily travel or whatever will be the purpose. Pretty much similar to that of Google Map, Google Earth. We can launch model builder, and you can search your project location of that particular site by either by specifying the project name or by specifying your coordinate system of that particular site of project location, right? So for this example, I'll just search. I'll just take an example of Mumbai, right? Now you can see I just want to capture the area of this particular site condition to develop to construct a underground tunnel of this particular site. So what I have multiple options to capture the data. Either through a rectangle or by drawing a polygon, right? For this example, I'll take a rectangle to demonstrate further. So I can capture up to 200 square kilometers of data in one go, but somehow we can collect the multiple pieces of 200 square kilometers of data. Then we can merge entire data into a single drawing for large infrastructure projects, right? So as of now, I was trying to capture this area of 30.98 square kilometer. I can specify the model name of that particular infrastructure project, or maybe I'll take sample model for this webinar, and I can define the coordinate system. So by default, it was snapping the WGS coordinate system, which is most commonly used in India as well as in whole world. At any point of time, if you want to use any other specified coordinate systems, you can go to other coordinate systems as well, and you can specify the coordinate system of reference which you want to refer. So later, when I click a create model, it will going to create a model in a cloud, and you will get an email notification stating that your InfraWorks model has been prepared and which has now available to use further, right? So when you reopen your InfraWorks, you will get model of whatever the name you have specified, and a globe symbol, right? What it means is the model has been processed and saved in the cloud. Now we need to download the model, and you can save the model either in a cloud or in the local desktop app. Right. So now it was asking whether to save docs or you want to save a local, right? Mr. Shoaib will take it forward how docs will help you to collaborate further. But as of now, I already downloaded the model for this particular webinar. I'll just open this that model for detailed demonstration. Yeah. Now this is how my InfraWorks model will look like. Now you can see it's not only a 2D satellite image, but it actually a 3D model. For to understand in detail manner, I'll just switch to an engineering mode. It will highlight you the contours which has been captured from USGS server. Even if I go to this particular city area, you can see the existing building structures which has been captured and this site contour elevation values, right? And also have created one more typical view just to create a more brighter environment. Now you can see more number of contours and the contour interval compared to the previous view which you have taken, right? So these are the existing building which are automatically processed by the InfraWorks. Wherever the existing buildings was there in the site, so entire model is going to be captured, including your existing railway alignments, including your road alignments, and also the hill and terrain regions, river portions, which has been located in Bing map, right? So I'll just switch to the conceptual view again, and I'll go to one of the area of roundabout. So this roundabout has been captured and prepared by InfraWorks itself. You can see the planning roads and the existing site conditions and all those things are automatically captured. Even when I hover over on top of any particular road, you can see name stating that this road has been captured from OpenStreetMap with the name of Fatak Road, right? Even you will get a brief idea which alignment we are capturing, right? So I'll switch to another view, road planning, right? Now you can see by default in InfraWorks, we have two different types of road. One is my planning road and the second one is my component road. What is planning road is? Planning road is nothing but an center line of alignment of a road, right? So when I import a planning road, which has been modeled in InfraWorks to the Civil 3D, I only get a alignment. I won't get any corridor. I won't get any cross sections out of it, right? Reason behind that, I have only created a idea of this particular model is creating a center line of alignment. So when I select any of the planning road, on right side of the corner, I have a palette called property palette, right? So in the property palette, I should say rather than a property palette, it should be called a style palette. So when I go to the rule style, I have more different options, right? We have divided highway, sidewalks, tunnel. Any point of time you think if the existing road is not captured perfectly, you can switch the style from 2-lane to 4-lane further. What I will do, I'll just convert this planning road to the component road. When I convert this planning road to component road, I'll get more detailed design options compared to that of the style palette which I have received. Right. I'll just now you can see the attributes. Right. I was trying to like the target speed of that particular road is 40 kmph, and even you can turn on the super elevation. When I turn on super elevation, it is going to use stometric standards, and by default the grading width of that particular site is 5 meters, and you can switch to fixed slope and you can adjust the cut fill grading criteria as well, right? So I'll right now I'll zoom to another location. Now you can see I have developed one rectangular region at this particular road for an interchange part. Even though I have added a simple rectangle tunnel structure, I'll show you more with the detailed tunnel projects as well. But the idea over here is when you are in idea generation stage, when you are in a concept generation stage, you can use InfraWorks model for the detailed superstructures and underpasses of that particular area of size, right? So I'll switch to another view. Just allow me a minute. Yeah. So as of now, let's suppose, as I mentioned, right now I want to plan a component road region in this particular place. So what I will do, when I go to create, so now I have two options. Either I can create a planning road or I can go with the component road, right? So what actually planning road, as I mentioned, if I was in idea generation, I'm not sure whether I have to go with 4-lane and expressway, 4-lane road or 8-lane expressway. In that particular point of time, I can use my planning road for the representation purpose. Later I can convert that road to a component road, and I can make more design changes on top of it. But for this demonstration, I'll just take a component road to explain the process. So let's suppose I just want to plan a road. There are two methods. One is PI based method, another one is element based method. So I'll just now I want to start with point of intersection method, where I have selected my 4-line assembly. Later, even though when you are working with 4-line divided assembly, later you can also, if you want to go with 6-lane, or if you want to go with 8-lane, or maybe if you want to go with 4-lane depressed median, so that assemblies can also be modeled and can be replaced easily, right? So as of now, I have selected 4-line assembly with raised jersey barriers, and I just want to start modeling, right? So I want to start modeling from here. This is my center line of alignment, which goes approximately here. Now when I switch to the curve, now you can see a curve has been added automatically. This is spiral curve. When you do a right click, you can convert into the normal circular curve. But most of the time in India, we prefer to work with transition curve transition. So I'll use this transition curve and transmission, and the curve radius super elevation parameters are going to be calculated according to the codes which you specified. So by default, in this particular model, it was targeting to ASTO, but although you can switch the design standard codes from ASTO to other countries as well, right? So now I'll just add a lane with two curves, and I'll double click to exit out of the command. Right now you can see a 4-lane curve, 4-lane road has been developed with a jersey median in it, right? So when I select any of the road, and when I go, like, as of now, still I am in a conceptual model itself, and for the conceptual project, I just want to understand how much of cut need to be done, how much of fill need to be done, and what amount of material has been consumed to construct that particular project. So what the idea over here is, when you have all the values in a real world context in a detailed manner, you will get more approximate cost compared to that of 2D CAD environment, compared to that of tracking and alignment in 2D GIS environment. You will get more detailed information on top of InfraWorks, right? So for that part, for calculating the amount of cut and fill, I'll simply click on cut. Now, when I click on this particular crane option, I'll get earthwork quantities. Although now the cut values and fill values, net amount of balance cut has been set to dash, right? Matlab, it not had been computed. So for computation part, I'll just click on this play symbol. Now you can see the values has been shown, right? So for this particular road project, for this particular center line of road, I need to perform 5,000 cumex of cut, and 19,000, sorry, 19,000 of cumex of fill need to be done, and 13,000 of net fill need to be done, to form that daylight assembly, or to form that baseline of datum of road, right? So later, when you have this detailed quantity out of it, what you can do, you can directly click this particular export option to export a CSV file. Although I have already generated a CSV file, you can see in the drawing. With respect to the chainage, amount of cut, amount of fill area, cumulative volume has been computed automatically, right? So when you have this type of detailed data, this will be the more helpful for the organization to get more approximate cost itself when you are working in DPR projects, right? So I'll switch to the other option, which is called material computation. When I launch material computation tab, now you can see the amount of material which required for that particular project has been calculated. So I need this much of curb gutter area need to be constructed, and also have added some jersey barriers. So you can see the amount of volume which has been calculated. So just to brief you further more, I'll just try to add a decoration of side lights, right? I'll just name with light pole, and I'll select any of the light pole as of now, right? I'll just add over here. I'll press enter to finalize the model. So although it has been added to the opposite direction, but you can select the uh, assembly which you have added, and you can give the rotation angle to 180 degrees. Right now it looked fine. So idea over here is whenever although entire model has been done, and when you have added electrical fixtures or maybe drainage fixtures, utility fixtures, and when you go to compute material, you will get the amount number of light poles which need to be placed has also been estimated. So this is an approximate count which has been calculated based on the offset value which have provided and the chainage value which you have provided. You will get the detailed report out of it. When you click on generate report, similar way how a cut fill data has been generated, in similar way your material data has also been going to be created in a CSV file format. So later, once you are done with your conceptual model, this is more like a visual point of view, right? Visual prospect. So when you want to do the detailed design and documentation, for that part, what we can do is we can import this entire data into Civil 3D. So I have already imported the data to Civil 3D. I'll just share my Civil 3D screen. I think, yeah. So now you can see I have a surface which is linked to the real world contacts data. When I turn on the map, entire map has been downloaded in the background, and you can see one alignment which is passing under the ground, right? So over here, what I was trying to plan is up to the hill region, I have a 2-lane road. Later after that part, I have a underground tunnel which is passing below the water surface, right? So just so I'll zoom to profile view. Just a second, I think it's fine. Video. So I'll share my PPT. Yeah, I'll just zoom to one of the profile region of this particular alignment which I have captured, right? So the red boundary is my existing ground, and the blue boundary is my proposed profile view, right? Now you can see when I zoom to the proposed profile view, when I reach the hill, I have already gone around 10 to 12 kilometers below the surface, right? So somehow we are planning a underground tunnel. So from start to finish, we have a passage till the hill region. I have 4-lane road. Later I have connected the entire road to uh, my tunnel part, right? So like once you are done with your profile and profile creation stuff, I have also computed the super elevation view. Even you can add the super elevation views. So although it was giving some warnings because it's not up to the standards which up to the design standards, or maybe one of the design criteria is overlapping, or maybe one of the criteria which I have specified is not matching the requirements, right? So whenever you want to like it allowed to you to create a criteria as per Indian standard, and you can compute the super elevation views as well, right? So apart from that, I have also added some of the tunnel cross sections. Like I have generated the cross sectional views, and when I zoom one of the region from the below, now you can see this region is moreover yeah. So I need to shift to the scale from 1:1, but when I right now the model size is heavy, so I'll just go with this view only. So now you can see when I was in zero chainage, I was having a simple road part. And when I switch to 0 to some 13 plus meters, 130 meters, I have reached the tunnel region, right? So this is my existing ground level, and this is my tunnel region of that particular uh, road which I have created, right? Later, when you are working in Civil 3D, you can also compute the material volumes out of it for the detailed design part, right? So I have computed couple of the for couple of section I have computed the material. So I'll just open the PDF file which I have created earlier only. You can see the volume report which has been created from the cut area perspective, and it also compute the reusable value, like whatever though which we have cutted in the project, how much amount can be reused further. You can see in the net cumulative value, initially I have more cut area, more cut value. When I shift to the tunnel to the end of the chain edge of that particular tunnel part, I have gone through more cutting part of it, fill to cut, right? So that reusable amount of area is also going to be computed automatically. And when like most of the people know mass hole diagrams, where we always try to balance the amount of cut, amount of fill of that particular region. So I have also computed the sum of the mass hole volume of that particular region. You can see the report. So idea over here is, when you are working with Civil 3D, you can even compute more detailed area reports out of it, right? I'll just switch to the one of my existing projects which I just want to show you. Yeah, Shoaib's, please confirm whether my screen is visible.
Yes, Sabit, your screen is visible.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to show you the tunnel modeling of one of the infrastructure project which we have delivered to one of our customers. So like when you are working with tunnel modeling, uh, as I mentioned earlier also, when you are working in concept stage, you can take help from InfraWorks, generate the concept model, bring that concept tunnel model to Civil 3D for detailed design of assembly. Then import that model to Revit for MEP and electrical services out of it, right? So for MEP services, we have Revit and Civil 3D integration with the help of Dynamo, bring entire tunnel assembly into Civil 3D and develop HVAC model. So now we have a typical view of MEP services. As you can see, all these MEP services has been modeled and developed in InfraWorks, developed in Revit. So entire data has been collaborated and visualized in InfraWorks out of it, right? So this is the building which Mr. Shoaib explained you in earlier time. So this model has been developed in Format, then Revit. Then we bring this entire data in InfraWorks for the visualization and coordinated model. I'll just show you a walkthrough. So this area of site has been modeled in InfraWorks. Entire site, as we earlier captured in real work context, I have captured around 180 square kilometers of area. And we have connected the different types of building components. So as you can see, this building component has been modeled and developed in Revit. Bring that Revit model in InfraWorks for the uh, coordination and visualization part, right? So as I mentioned, InfraWorks had some good features to develop your LVUP structures, LVUP structures and underpass structures. That models you can develop in InfraWorks. Even though the signboards and the light poles has been developed and modeled in Revit, bring that pole data to InfraWorks and place them according to the project requirements. Let's switch to, just move it a bit forward. So this tunnel has been developed in Civil 3D using Civil 3D, Revit and InfraWorks, right? So we have 3 tunnels which are passing under the river. So when in which 2 are road, one for in and one for out. And although we also have one linear structure, which is the railway project, as you can see, when I have connected to the Revit, my Revit MEP engineer has developed the entire MEP services out of it. And when I integrate the entire model in InfraWorks for the visualization prospect. So although right now in industry, we are submitting moreover the 2D drawings. When you are working in BIM environment, you can extract more visualized files out of it. So Mr. Shoaib will take it forward for Autodesk construction cloud and documentation part. Over to you, Shoaib.
Okay, thank you so much, Abid. Abid has quickly covered up many things. So the whole idea was to, using InfraWorks, Civil 3D and Revit and integrating all of those in InfraWorks to show the final result. So that video which he just played was actually developed in InfraWorks. So, but that was only for visualization purpose, but when multiple stakeholders work together, they actually collaborate on cloud and also comment and give their inputs. So now I think there are many people who were asking about when we will switch to the cloud platform. So this is the time when we are discussing about cloud. So what is cloud? Why is cloud used basically? So like there might be many uncertainties, like we had COVID-19 pandemic, which sometimes major construction projects will come on hold. So, and also the entire process will slow down. So one of the reasons is of getting the process slowed down is using the age-old methods of communication. So like you may be using WhatsApp, communicating through WhatsApp, or maybe emailing, or maybe phone calls. But this cloud platform not only provides you the cloud space to store your model, to collaborate with other consultants. It can also provide a better communication among different stakeholders. So that is why now people like in every industry are moving to cloud platform. Like I think nowadays most of you are not like there. If I compare this number with people who were going for movies on theater before pandemic, post pandemic, the people who are going for movie theaters are now lesser, because now online platforms are available for watching movies. Now movies are actually released on OTT platforms, right? So those are actually cloud platforms. So similarly, this is again a cloud platform for construction cloud. So Autodesk Construction Cloud has multiple modules. One is the collaborate, one is takeoff, and one is build. Built is for site people, for those who are working on site. Collaborate is for multiple stakeholders to collaborate at the design stage and post-design stage. And takeoff is a specific module for quantity takeoff. So, and all of these modules will have this document space where you manage your document. So I'll talk about that document space specifically. That is now known as Autodesk Docs. Some people have mentioned BIM 360 Docs in chat box. The BIM 360 Docs is now discontinued. Now it has been, relaunched as Autodesk Construction Cloud, and under that you'll find this Autodesk Docs. So all those features which were there in BIM 360 are now in Autodesk Docs, and it is more improved version. So what are the basic challenges in construction industry? That we have, razor thin margins. We have tight schedules to follow. So information is in siloed information. For example, we have different, stakeholders. Every stakeholder is working on different version of file. For example, architect is working on, let's say, version 5 of the file. MEP consultant is working on version 3 of the file. Structure engineer is working on, let's say, version 2 of the file, for example. And then later on, when they collaborate, there are issues. So that information is now streamlined by using the same platform by every stakeholder. So these kind of issues, like team distribution issues, there are uncertainty in the information. All this is overcome by using this collaboration environment. So it provides you obviously increased collaboration. That is, now multiple stakeholders can come together on a single platform. So that is why it creates a single source of truth. Like I already mentioned, that single source of information is actually stored on cloud. So I might be working in Delhi, my other team members might be working from Mumbai. There might be some people who are working maybe from abroad, not from India. So in that case, they might they all will be using cloud platform, and they will all be, collaborating on cloud. And then whatever input they're putting, that will be stored in a single database, that is single source of truth. And I or maybe any other stakeholder or consultant or client can anytime extract information out of it. So for example, if I require information for construction in 2D format, for example, I want like 2D drawings to be extracted, I can just simply get connected 2D and 3D together. So I upload model as a 3D model, but connected 2D sheets will also upload. Like I've showed you that Revit model which has 2D sheets also. So those 2D sheets can also be uploaded at the same time. Like it gets connected automatically. And whenever there are changes, it will also update, and you can compare between different versions as well. So that at a result will give you improved data accuracy, and it helps you to control, standards. It helps you to standardize the process. So this standardization will help you to digitalize everything. So you are now putting every information in cloud, and anyone can from the other stakeholder teams also can get that information. So I'll first talk about document management part of it. How does document managed? So it can it has 2D and 3D support in it. Like you can connect 3D and 2D together. You can, if you are a client, for example, or if you are approver of the project, then you can create issues there as well. For example, if you find out some issue, or maybe some other stakeholder is having issue in their model, and that is connected to your design also, if you are a stakeholder, if you are a consultant, design consultant, or maybe client also, then you can create issues and then mark up your drawings as well. So like we put up revision cloud in our 2D drawings, similarly we can also put up revision clouds in 3D drawings as well. That is, model which is connected with 3D drawings. And then you can also get any information which is embedded in that model. So for example, there are information which are shown on sheets. There are information which are shown in the form of quantities, but there might be some information which is not documented. But anytime you can go to the model, you can select a particular component or multiple components, or maybe a floor or something, and then you can get information related to it. That is embedded data. If, for example, multiple versions of the same file are uploaded, and if you need to know, okay, what are the changes which are made, then you can also compare versions here. The version control is very good in this case, which is also automated. And for example, at any point, if you want to switch to later, no, if you want to switch to the earlier version of the project for some reason, for example, changes are not accepted, in that case, you can also make current version of any earlier version as well, if that is required. You can create transmittals here as well. So for example, if sheet is issued, then multiple sheet list will be created. So those kind of transmittals you can issue here. And once sheets are issued, then obviously you might need to create multiple approval workflows. So maybe 2-step approval, 1-step approval, 4-step approval. So you can go for multiple step approvals in this case. I'll show you all those information. So I think I should move to how does this platform work live. So I'm sharing my browser screen. So for that, you do not require, any other thing but your browser screen. So I'm just sharing my browser screen. I think my screen is visible. Abid, can you
Yes,
please
it's
confirm?
visible.
Okay, okay. So you just go to acc.autodesk.com. So that is the URL which you need to go for. And you need to obviously log in with your Autodesk credentials. Since I'm already logged in, so I'm directly taken to the projects page. So this is the project page where you find all the current projects which are going on. So currently we were, working on this webinar. So we have already created one webinar project in this case. So how does how does one creates a project? For that? That person has to be account admin. So one company might have one account, and under that account, you might have multiple projects. So in this case, I have, as you can notice, multiple projects already created here. So if you are an account admin, like I am in this case, I can create a new project here. So you can click on create project directly, and you can give a name of the project, then the number of the project, that is the project number. And then, you can select one account. Like in my case, I have two accounts actually. So I have one account by the name Capricorn Technologies Private Limited, and another account by the name Capricorn India. So I can choose another account also. So anyways, so you can choose accounts. So for example, if you are you are from design side and you are working for multiple clients, then you might have multiple accounts accordingly. So in that case, you can choose account. For example, you might be working for ACOM, and so suppose you are an ACOM company and you are working for, let's say, DMRC and NCRTC and any other government organization, and then you may have accordingly those accounts here. So for example, this project belongs to, let's say, metro project, then you can choose maybe DMRC or maybe any other type. For example, airport project I'm going to create, then you can choose account of from the airport authority maybe. Similarly, those account. So account actually
Mr. Shoaib, we lost you.
the Prashant sir, am I audible now?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Okay, I'll try to be, just please allow me a minute. Connect. Abid, can you please confirm if my voice is audible now?
Yeah, it's audible.
I'm really sorry but I think there is some issue on my side. Okay, so then if you have a template already created, you can choose that template. Like if you have a project template created, and then you can enter the location for for reference purpose, and then you can also add time and date and start date and end date of the project and of the estimated project value if that is there. So these are not necessary fields, only these star fields are important. So you need to fill those fields and create a new project. Similarly, I've created, Abid actually have created this project. So I have all those project lists. I've clicked on this project. So I'll just open this project. It opens with multiple files in it. So according to uh, the standards, so according to BIM standards, so earlier the standards which were followed were PS 1192, and these are now internationally accepted. So now this Autodesk Construction Cloud is based on IS standards. IS, sorry, I forgot the number. So anyways, so it is dependent on or BIM standards, and according to BIM standard, there is a particular folder structure which is given. This is IS, yes, IS 19650. So thank you for reminding me. So anyways, so here folder structure has been created for conceptual design stage and detailed design stage. Accordingly, you need to also add more stages. For example, for GFC stage, then you might have other stages also. So we have only added 2 stages because we have worked only up to detailed design in this process. So on conceptual design stage, we have different, like WIP architecture, then we have WIP for civil infrastructure, then MEP, then structure. So under WIP architecture, you may notice I have actually saved that station building, which I have developed in format. I can directly click on it and it will open here. So if I click on it, it opens directly in this case. Right, so this building is now open, and this is the same model which was the basic model, and you can measure it anytime. Like if that is the requirement, for example, I'll just select from here and you can measure it. You can change the unit also. You can also cut section, although this is not the detailed design, it's just a simple block form. That is why section will not show anything. But yes, that input which I have given in format is now updated here. And if I, for example, make changes there, I can again collaborate here, and version will automatically update. So this is version 1 of the file. Then similarly, Abid has also added his InfraWorks model, which I've already opened on other screen, I think. Yes, this is the model, which is actually, because it has so many, like too much information. So it takes sometimes a while to update those information. So this is the same, that the river, the tunnel which is going under the river, that is the InfraWorks model which he has showed. Although obviously it depends on internet speed, it loads accordingly. It's a huge area, so that is why it is taking time to load up. Similarly, under detailed design stage, I have added under a WIP, I have added that Revit model. So this Revit model I can also directly open and can, check its this model. We can walk into the model. So this is the same model here. And for example, if I need, so this is a very interactive model. So those who are checking this model, for example, they can get into the model also. So not only they can measure it, so we can, measure this model. As you can notice, it is measured. So this is around 10 meters. Then, for example, if I need to cut a section, I can cut section in X, Y, and Z plane. I can add a section box also. So let me show you one section cut through X-axis. So as you can notice, this section is being cut. I think it is visible to all. Right, you can push and pull this section plane, and this will keep on adding more details to it. So as you can notice, this staircase section is shown here. There's a railing which is placed in this. There are headrooms provided under the staircases, so you can see that. You can also change the scale. You can also rotate the section plane accordingly. For example, if you need to change the orientation of the section. Similarly, you can also add sections in other directions. Right, so you can also add section box. Section box is the kind of thing which is basically a box, and you can move this box in any direction. This box has, its planes are basically section planes. So as you can notice, this box is showing floor wise information. Talking about floor wise information, you can also go level wise. So in this model, you have seen that I've added levels already, so you can access levels accordingly. So for example, if I need to check on mezzanine floor only, so as you can notice, only mezzanine floor is separated out. For example, if I need to check on concourse level, so you can see only concourse level details are shown, which is actually incomplete in this case, because we are still working on it. But as you can notice, mezzanine floor is kind of complete. So later on, when, for example, interior designers will add interior details to it, maybe furniture and all, that will also be visible here. Not only this, you can walk into the model. So by walking, I mean you can literally go inside and walk inside the model. So this first person view is the walking option. Just I clicked on it, and as you can notice, I've got a mini map here. Sorry, let me get out of the floor mode. Yes, I'll just get out of the levels mode. I'll just pick on first person view. It will show me the controls which will help me to navigate through the model. So as you can notice, the controls are very easy. Arrow keys will be used for walking into the model. Similarly, I can locate my person inside the model. For example, I'm locating somewhere here, and I can just simply choose the level on which I need to land. I'll land on, let's say, mezzanine floor, and I'll just, so this is now landed on mezzanine floor. And as you can notice, these are details, as you can notice, from inside the model, and you can, get inside it. So I think I should move inside. So this is on the terrace area. So I can just use WASD, and I can get inside the model. And that is the staircase part. Let's move there. So I hope you got the idea. Now, while you are walking inside this, you find out that there is some issue on the door. You can anytime add a markup, or you can anytime add an issue here. So for adding issues, you have this small button which will allow you to add issue. So if I click on it, it will allow me to add an issue. So what you need to first choose a category of the issue type. So what type of issue it is, either, so this is the shortcut. Otherwise, you can go to the left side, and here issues panel is shown. Here all the issues will be saved. So for example, there is this height of the vision panel is not correct. It should be, at 1500 mm. So I'll just click on it, and it's a design based issue. So I can just assign it to design based issue. Let's say, so it's a design based issue. I'll just click on this vision panel. So this is now clicked on, and I can, add, so this is being added in the issues list. Now issues add. So I've not assigned it to anyone. So it's a design letter issue. It's an open issue for now. I can specify the description. Okay, suppose door panel change, something like that. I'll just approve this, and then I'll assign it to some team members. So Abid is working with me, so I'll just assign it to Abid, for example, and then I'll specify the location if that is the requirement, and I can also specify the due date. For example, I'll just give him, let's say tomorrow is Saturday, day after tomorrow is Sunday, then there might be Eid leave. So I think I'll give him 1 week. maybe by next Friday he need to resolve this issue. So that is the due date, right? And you can also specify the root cause of the issue. So maybe it's a compliance problem, it's a design flaw or something. I'm just going for design flaw, or maybe coordination related issue. If there is, for example, reference material, for example, I have a standard door image or a catalog or a PDF, I can also add to by adding the reference. I can add more files here. Maybe a photograph, for example, I'm on site and I need to click on photograph and I want to attach it, I can attach here as well. So anyways, I do not have anything for now. I can add comments if that is the requirement. Please solve it. Sorry. Solve this ASAP. Something of this sort. And I'll just submit it. So once submitted, this issue is now saved in my project. It is not published also. It's an unpublished issue. So this issue will be only visible to me whenever I'll open the model, or any person who will open from my credential. So if I need to, for example, publish it for every person who is involved in this project, every project member to see, I can just anytime publish this. So for publishing an issue, I can just simply, yeah. Oh, okay, it is now published. It is already published. So now Abid will get the email, and once he opens the email, he will get the issue and he can just resolve it accordingly. So if I think we are short of time, otherwise I would have shown the Abid's screen also. So, but I'll show the email, I guess. So Abid, can you please show your email screen? I was informed that only few minutes are left for this webinar. I'll just move ahead. So anyways, this is one way. So Abid will get it, he'll solve it, and then this issue will be solved. Similarly, if you want to create, for example, if you're not checking model in 3D, but you are checking in 2D, for example, right? So I'll just get out of this mode. For example, if you're checking model in 2D, suppose, so if I need to check the sheets, because sheets are needs to be approved. So when we open the model, along with it, sheets are also saved. So sheets and views are saved here, and you can go for 2D sheets in this case. So this is the 3D model, which is here. If you have, for example, more 2D views, you can align them as well. So I have 2D drawings which were created there. I can open it. So that working drawing I was showing there is now accessible here as well. And I can also, again, do the same thing. I can measure it. I can create issues here. And there is one more thing which is available here in sheet, which is not available in 3D. That is, we can add revision clouds here, right? So for adding revision clouds, for example, suppose this cutout size needs to be improved, or maybe there is some change in the lift size. There is change in the lift, for example. So I can just mark up this cloud. I can change the size of the cloud, for example. Suppose the color of the cloud needs to be, let's say, not red, but of any other color, let's say blue or something. I'll just change the color for the sake of changing for now. And you can change the opacity of it. For example, I'll just keep it opaque, and you can also change the border thickness. So, and you can also control its fill if you want to fill it. For example, it will be always a transparent fill so that it will be visible to all. So I'll just fill a small color here, and then, okay, any color, turquoise color maybe. And then this is the markup, and we can also add text in this, right? So for example, I'll add a text here. For example, so the text size is too large, I'll take up smaller text, and I'll just call, and I think that markup options are also added to text. And just switch to text. I'll not use border, and I'll not use color in this case, no fill, and I'll, okay, and I'll change the text in this case. Anyways, I'll just move it out. So I'll just change text. As for example, check for something like that. Check for lift size. Suppose it's something like that. I'll add it, and we can keep this text along with this cloud. And now this can cannot be published if you do not want to publish it, and you can also link other references here as well. So this is same as issues, but it appears in drawings actually. So because it is a revision cloud, so it's a cloud kind of thing. So if you are habitual of adding the clouds, then you can add markups, and then markups can also be published. So if I publish this will be available for everyone to view, and if I do not publish it, this would be for my reference. For example, if I'm working today and I need to continue from here from tomorrow onwards, I can save these markups for my reference as well. Otherwise I can publish it. Once it is published, it will be visible to all the members who are available in this project. Anyways, I hope and there are other things you can do. I hope you can, I think, figure other things out. So this is one drawing which is shown here. Another drawing is presentation drawing which we created by filling the colors, and that drawing is also available here, right? So, and with all the room legends. So those, and for example, if there are changes in these drawings, these will update automatically. So this was more or less from the overview of this project which we have added here. Then one more thing which I think important for those who are from the client side and from the approver side, they can anytime add a multiple stage approval workflow. So if you need to, for example, add more members and lesser members, in that case, just a minute. In that case, you can go to the members list, and here on the left side, you can add members. So if you are a project admin, then you can add more members. For example, if I need to add more members, I can just write down their email IDs. For example, if I add one person from here and another person, let's say, so their email IDs are saved, and then I can simply add those members. I can assign them as admin or maybe some other role. So I'm assigning them as project admin. So, or maybe project members, you can assign them. So members can have the limited control. Admin can, do everything in project. So members will have a specific folder access, which I think for detail you can connect with us later, and we can, help anyone who is interested in cloud setup. So for now, I'm just making both members admin. We actually give detailed trainings on these cloud-based setups as well. So these members will be added. It takes a time to update. So anyways, then you can go for other settings for approval workflow, for example. So anyways, this will be under reviews. Yes. So you can create reviews, and just a minute, sorry. Sorry, there was some internet lag. So you go to the reviews. So under the reviews, you have settings option, and then you go to the create approval workflow. So under approval workflow, you can choose one of the templates. So there are templates available for according to number of approvals you need to get. For example, one project needs a 3-step approval or 4-step approval, or maybe 1-step approval. You can choose that. I'm going for lesser 2-step approval in this case. So there would be a starting of the review. Then there is an initial reviewer who will review the model. Then one stage is clear, then you can go for final reviewer, and then it will be submitted. It will be closed. If you have, let's say, multiple approvers, and accordingly you have different approvers here. So I'll just go for 2-step approval. I'll click next. You can give the name of the approval. You can give the description here, and then you can also choose the initiator who will initiate the approval. One of the members will initiate it. Then you will choose the approver who would be the reviewer. So there would be 2-stage approval. So this is the step 1. This is step 2. On every step, you might have multiple approvers as well. So for example, on stage 1, it needs to be approved from the architect and, let's say, structural engineer both. Then you can go for multiple reviewers. And for multiple reviewers, you can choose multiple members. You can just check on, and you can approve multiple. You can add multiple members, and accordingly you can choose every member should give their input, or maybe any one member is required. So in this case, for example, every member should give the review. Then you can also add how much time is allowed. By default, it gives you 3 calendar days. You can go for multiple calendar days up to multiple months. So then similarly, another approval stage will be added, and this would be the final approval. That is why it will only allow you to add 1 member mostly. And then if you need to add more approvers, then obviously you can take like multiple stage approvals. And then accordingly, once it is approved, what should be written, you can also choose if a tick mark is shown, or on rejected, if a cross mark is shown. You can also choose whether approved with comment, approved with like something. So you can customize this, right? So I think this is also important for those who are from government background, because they need to approve the models. So I think that was all from our side. Since now time is already over, already. So I'll ask Mr. Prashant, who is from Autodesk India, for give us a vote of thanks and also for closing this webinar. I know there are many questions in chat box. We'll answer them on their mail IDs also. Yes, Prashant.
Thank you so much, Team Capricorn, and as a valuable partner, channel partner, you are with us from last 30 plus years, and you always help us out in every possible way and manner, whatsoever comes like technical things or any kind of commercial things. You're always at our help. So thank you so much, Shoaib and team, for helping us out. And we will definitely, Capricorn team will ensure that all the questions are answered, on a timely manner, whatever question have arisen in our session. And as you know, like most of you are working in a government organization, and you affect millions of people, And if I say millions of people, it comes from all the category of people, like a poor, a rich, or middle class person. And your entire project is like it affects like a million of people, and it carries a cost. Time is money, and carries a cost. The single delay can cost you tens of millions of money from your budget. So, like from as an Autodesk solution, we help you from starting from a concept of a design to final handover of a project. And as you know, like like every project comes with a lot of collaboration, deadline, and various teams working across countries. And you need timely quick changes, timely input. And if you miss any of this thing, it delay costs you in terms a lot of money. So Autodesk ensure that these are ironed out with our solution. And I'll not take much of your time and close this call by saying that imagine bigger, collaborate smarter, move faster, and build better. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, valuable audience, for taking your time, valuable time out for this webinar. And we will close this entire session, and we will ensure that all the queries are resolved. If you have any queries, Capricorn team will surely help you out on that. And have a nice evening. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, so anybody has any query, they can contact us later as well. And for now, please allow us to leave. Okay, bye everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you, sir.